days that have been so busy, I haven't made it in here to forge. Now, I know you're probably thinking, wow, for some of you, I couldn't imagine forging every day, and for others, wow, that's a long time for you to be out of the shop. So, before we get going, be sure to like and subscribe, and if you've been following some of my videos, you may have noticed some bulk forging videos on railroad spike knives, letter openers, whatever you want to call them. There was also some videos on testing out some twisting wrenches, and I went through and I did a batch of 40 of those that ended up over here in this bucket by my forge. And some of them like that, I didn't even anything out and I twisted. Some of these will be stake turners. Some turned out quite even and nice. Some will be another decent full twist. And then there's some that will be stake turners, some that will be bottle openers. God knows what some of them will be. There's another full. Some are full twist, some are half twist. And I thought, you know, it's time that I take those 40 pieces right there and I start finishing them out into final products, at least to the point where I can get them cleaned up and get them on market. In the process of that, my friend Austin from Pappy's Castle gave me a whole bunch of horseshoes after I went through and processed all of them. But these are decent horseshoes, so I'll be cleaning those up some, and shortly start processing those up as well. If you haven't subscribed yet, we're going to get ready to forge here in just a moment, so great time to do that. Be sure to check out the links in the description, and we have an upcoming class at Turtle Island, the Turtle Island Preserve, Eustace Conway's from Mountain Men on the History Channel. And that's coming up September 6th and 7th in Boone, North Carolina. Be sure to check it out. There's a link in the description. So I'm going to demonstrate with one of these cold spikes, not on this yet, but I'm essentially going to start pulling this out. I'm going to draw this out and then I'm going to scroll it over. And I'm going to show you a couple ways that you can do that. Now, one, I can hand forge it and that's going to take forever and I've got to get a bunch of these done. So I'm going to show you this repetitively with the power hammer. So I'm going to start drawing these out. Boys and girls, here's a hot one. Let's get it drawn out. That might be enough right there. I'm going to go ahead and get that back in the forge, bring the next one over. Once more, if you haven't subscribed yet, great time to do so. one's drawn out now. Something that occurred to me is that I need to be able to test these. Brad, I'm actually making bottle openers and drawing those out. I'm going to let them come up to temp. I'm going to have to go back here into my production area. Axon Maine with the lights off. All right, guys. Smells like antler back here. I've been cutting antler. If you guys can smell that too, be sure to comment. Let's see. Refrigerator. Ew, gross. This thing needs cleaned out bad. There's Bud Light in here. But, well, yeah, I mean, I'm probably not going to drink this, but give me just a second, guys. There we go. Live again. Sorry about that. Okay, so making the bottle opener here, and I've got to have something to test it on. So we're going to use a Bud Light. Now, what I'm going to do for the first attempt here, I'm going to mostly do it with the hammer, okay? So, the first thing I want to do is I'm going to do a kind of a downward curve, kind of a curl, and work it back. You want it to kind of curve up just a little bit, kind of like that. And then I'm going to cool that curve off. And I'm going to throw my hammer. Kind of wish that would have worked a little better. And what I'm going to do, I got that too cool. I'll let it cool off too much. And I dropped my hammer. I could probably go with a little light hammer, really. Cool that off. I'm going to start bending that back onto itself. Until I get that shape right there. Now I may actually let's try it. All right. Now that could work. I'm going to let that cool just a little bit. And while that one's cooling, let's go ahead and try scrolling with some scrolling tongs. Now these are scrolling tongs by Big Blue, and I think they got some canola oil in them. Got to loosen them up just a little bit. And this is going to require a little higher heat. So in this process, I'm going to bring them around. it back under. Now, whether you prefer to use scrolling tongs or you want to make a jig, it really doesn't matter as long as you're getting a good result. Once more, if you haven't subscribed yet, it's a great time to do so. And the next couple that I put in there. All right. Now, when you do this, it's not a bad idea to have either kind of a classic soda bottle, or to have an adult beverage of some sort to test this on. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to catch. See, does it catch? It catches. So all it does, you just apply a little more pressure and it pops right up. These are fun to make. They don't take that long. They don't cost much to make, and they are quite profitable. So right there, that one will work. I'll set it to the side. Now the scroll on this might be just a little bit different than what you're used to if you're used to making something that's just a little bit prettier. Now, it's not that you can't do this and make it pretty, but sometimes it's a little bit of a struggle, and I'm going to bring this back just a little bit more. The important thing is that this will catch the lip. If it comes down, if it curves down, it's not going to catch as well. So I'm going to set that one to the side. Then I'm going to cool it off while I get these other two in. This is still relatively hot. It'll be okay. Once more, I'm going to take my Bud Light right here and put it on the cap. Does it catch? That's going to work. Now, I could have made that a little more even, but I'm not grinding these by any means. I'm just forging them out. So there's a couple of bottle openers right there. I'm going to move my piece of mild steel where we were doing the super quench. Right. The other two are going to come up, and now some of you might be saying, hey, I'm used to seeing that flat bottle opener where you pop it. You can do that. You absolutely can. And I've done them where it's been scrolled on one end, just decorative, and then on the other, actually had this flattened out to where it would grab, had the hole in it and you could pop it. But it's just a matter of what your preference is. Guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time to do so. And there's going to be more videos coming up. We'll catch you in a few. Why have I not seen my